Brian Rivera here with two-time World Series champion, former San Francisco Giant, Fresno Grizzly, Travis Ishikawa. Travis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
This is a great pleasure for me, so I'm very excited. Let's start just with the basics. How did you get started in baseball?
The earliest memory I have is my dad taking me to a Mariner game up in Seattle when I was probably 5, 6 years old. The Mariners, I still remember this day, they beat the Baltimore Orioles 5-4. I couldn't tell you the month, I couldn't tell you the day, but I just remember going to the Kingdome and watching the Mariners play and just falling in love with the sport, and I made sure that he signed me up for baseball that following spring.
Right on. Did your parents play sports, or did they have the sports background in them?
My dad pitched in high school. He ended up having a scholarship to Long Beach State, but blowing out his elbow before he could play for him. So the baseball was always in the blood, and thankfully I got his athletic ability, my mom's height. Because if it was the opposite way, I'd be a little shorter and probably not as athletic.
You were drafted out of high school by the Giants. And then you signed out of high school. Was there college opportunities that were kind of weighing in, or?
Yeah, definitely. So I had committed and signed my letter of intent with Oregon State University out of high school, and back then they had the draft and follows and things like that. So when I got drafted in the 21st round, I thought there's no way I'm going to be signed, and I just kind of had my mindset that I would enjoy summer ball with my friends this last year after high school and get ready to start my season, fall season at Oregon State. And so that was there, and then while playing in the summertime, the Giants, came up close to the number I was kind of looking for a signing bonus, and talking with my family advisor, my agent afterwards.
Sure.
Thought it was in our best interest to sign.
And then you spent 4 years, in the low minors, and then you got Double-A, and then was that a little bit of a struggle, kind of staying in the low part for a little while? Was it just what was going on?
No, especially being a high school kid, I was overmatched. Definitely, probably my first full season. The second year had to go back, start out in low A, and did enough to get called up to high A, which was here in San Jose at the time. And then the year after that was starting in San Jose, for a full season. So I look back and I think the progression was good. I think it made sense. I don't think there was any hurry for me at that point to get me to Double-A. Back then, right, there was more of a progression. You guys weren't getting pushed as quickly as we kind of see nowadays. And so I think, that was actually beneficial for my development to spend a full season in high A before going to Double-A.
Right, then in 2006 you started in Double-A, but you ended up with the big club. And that must have been a pretty good experience that year.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected. I had just gotten put on the roster that offseason. Got to experience my first big league camp a month before that. And so I went to Double-A, which I kind of anticipated going to, and kind of got off to a good start, but wasn't even thinking big leagues was in the near future. It was just going out and playing and just trying to put together a similar season that I did in San Jose the year before. And just out of the blue, we had a weird Easter Sunday off. I didn't know that you got holidays off in baseball season, but somehow we got Easter off. And I had some cousins out in Philly. We were playing Trenton, New Jersey, and I got a phone call and was asked where I was at, and I thought I was in trouble because I wasn't in the hotel. I wasn't in Trenton. I go, I'm 30 minutes out. I'll be back. Like, oh, please don't suspend me. Don't find me. And he goes, no, we just need to know where to fly you, what airport to fly out of, because you're going to the big leagues tomorrow. You're meeting the team in Arizona. So it was a pretty cool moment.
That's awesome. And then, of course, the up and down starts. You're back in the minors, and you go up and down. You go back and forth. You end up in the bigs. You come back down there. How did that wear on the mind a little bit?
First couple times it was okay. Again, 3 weeks into Double-A, I'm getting called up. I was told it was only going to be for a few days. I knew I was going back to Double-A. I was fine with it. When I got called up the second time, a month later in May, I had a pretty good stint. The week I was there, I know it's a small sample size, but to say that I got sent down hitting 500 twice in one season was kind of a cool thing. But and again, kind of knowing I was going back to Double-A again. The third time, I did have some struggles, but I figured at that point, I'd been in the big leagues 3 times. I hadn't even seen Triple-A yet. I was kind of hoping to get back to the West Coast and get here to Fresno, but obviously the front office thought otherwise, and they decided to send me back to Double-A for the third time. And Norwich was a tough place to hit. It could definitely wear on you mentally and physically, and so it definitely got the better of me at the second half of that season.
And then 2009, finally, you make the big club. You played 2 years there, and you think you finally made it? You think you're sticking around? And then
Oh, of course, right? I mean, that's everybody envisions when as soon as they get to the big leagues, they're going to be there the rest of the time and the rest of their career. They're only going to stay with one team, and we'd already won the World Series in 10, so I was just, I was like, man, I got to achieve something that everybody dreams of so early in my career, and I'm kind of almost the mentality like I'm playing with house money right now. So yeah, it definitely was a shock in 11 when spring training ended, and I found myself getting designated and watching the team fly out to LA.
Right, and then of course you go back and down, you get Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, all that, but then you come back and you end up with the Giants back in 2014, and of course we all know about, at least us Giants fans, the big home run to go to the World Series. What was that? The euphoria you had in your body after all the struggles must have been pretty good.
Yeah, at the time, right, the only thing I'm thinking about was just how can I help the team win? How can I help the team in this game? Obviously, after the World Series was over and we got to get in the winter time, and I kind of got to sit back and reflect on the year because a lot of people have heard my story know like I was struggling here in Fresno. I'd actually gotten benched for probably like a 10-day, 14-day period where I wasn't even getting starts, and so obviously the contemplation of whether or not I wanted to pursue baseball at the end of the season, kind of when it started kicking in, and just by the grace of God, got to the All-Star break, got refreshed, and swung the bat well enough to get called up, and then obviously to get in that opportunity was once just a cool moment.
Let's talk about some of those teammates you had in 2014. Hunter Pence, what was it like playing with him? Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, those well-known cornerstones that the Giants had for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I get to look back and just see how grateful and how spoiled I was to get to play with those guys. And I was there in 10 when Buster got called up for the final time, and to see what he did as a rookie at a position that just demands so much from a player and he just handled it with such maturity and such professionalism so early. You knew he was going to be something special, and Craw and Belt and all those guys that I didn't get to meet until 14. I spent spring training with Belt in 11, but I mean, as far as in the big leagues, again, just absolute pros. Those guys all came up together in the minor leagues. They came up, they won games, they knew how to win. The winning culture was there, right? We won in 10, they won it together in 12. Get guys like Hunter Pence, who he instantly became one of my favorite teammates. I mean, the day I got called up, he had a player-only team meeting because I guess they were scuffling a little bit, and I couldn't even tell you what he talked about. But I left that meeting with goosebumps. Like I'd been there the entire year. I'd been in the grind with him, and I was ready to go run through a wall for him. And that was just the kind of leader he was, the inspiration that he brought. I mean, not only the fans saw, but he brought that to the clubhouse, and the fact that he busted his tail each and every play. He had a one-hopper to the pitcher. He was busting his tail down the line. Get out, get in, get a drink of water. He'd be on the rail before the next pitch for the next hitter, like rooting on his teammate. That's all you can ask for from a leader and a teammate. Is a guy that will sit, he'll talk the talk, but he goes out and he walks the walk.
Well, Travis, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.